We got people waiting.
All right, I think we are finally live on YouTube.
Hello.
Welcome
Good
to
afternoon. Yeah.
welcome to Married with Issues
Issue
48.
48. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I literally just woke up from a nap on the couch. Totally passed out for a second. It was needed though. But thank you, Southern Comic Geek, for joining us. We're off by lunchtime. Good to see you. Burr Island, thanks for joining us as well. Hope you're all having fun. Yeah, Burr Island is at the C2E2.
yes.
That looks like a blast. I'm a little jelly.
Yeah, it's con season and like you said, C2E2 is going on. We've been seeing a bunch of people from the community.
It's awesome. I saw D-Runk's doppelganger the other day when I was picking him up from work. He's at the bus stop, and I'm like, wait, no, what? It threw me off.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of multitasking even more than I usually do because we're also recording like an audio thing at the same time, so that we'll have that up
at a later time.
Yeah, like on our podcast and stuff. I mean, because we're still kind of figuring out how we're going to be doing like the podcast part. Because I was kind of thinking of having like I'm sitting up way higher than you.
I just think that you're an overachiever.
Yeah, I mean, because I was.
You're a big overachiever.
I mean, because at first we just thought of just recording also like an audio version of this and putting it on like podcast apps and stuff. But then it also kind of turned into another show. I don't know, because
you just got.
I want to create more content than just our Saturday show.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like you said, I'm always.
He likes to go like over the top and just dives headfirst in and just gets submerged in everything, and then that's just how he has always been. So okay, you do what you do.
Yeah.
I love you either way. I don't mind. I did get some reading done.
Yes, we both did get a lot of reading done, so that's what I was going to say.
I got a good amount of reading done. I'm proud of myself, and I still want to read more, but I totally didn't mean to pass out. Like, that was unexpected. It was just got cold all of a sudden, so I put the blanket on, and the next thing I know,
you passed out. Yeah.
It was like, we had to do this show, and I'm like, wait, what?
And I was still, like taking notes and stuff on, kind of setting up show notes and all that.
You've been up all night in Australia. I need just 10 more beers.
Just 10 more.
It's still the weekend there, so it works. I won't be able to stay up that late. I'm not excited. I have to get up at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, you do work in the morning.
Mm-hmm. But at least I'll be off by 4. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, at least you're up at a decent time.
I'm just going to have to get to bed at a decent time.
Not the usual, like...
10:30 to 7.
Well, we're getting home, like at 8 at night.
It's true. So that'll be nice.
Yep. But yeah, so like if you are listening to this audio version later on the podcast, this was, if we do put it up, this will be the first one. So we are Solgr and Fusha only.
Yes.
This is our show, Married with Issues. We also stream it live on YouTube at youtube.com/
Oh, you're driving home, actually. Well, you better be driving safe.
It's on Solgr, on Solgr Only's YouTube channel on YouTube.
And he even went over the top and created a Married with Issues Instagram if you want to go follow that for all the news.
Well, there's also a Facebook page. There's also our...
See? Overachiever.
There's also our blog, which is the Married with Issues blog.wordpress.com. Oh God! I mean, there's so many links, and we even have our store that we're starting to
merchandise.
Yeah, we have our own merch store. I don't like how the links to that are though, because that's really weird. Like I have one here that we pop up on the stream, because it is like
weird.
It is the weirdest URL. See, it's t.pub/lic
odd
/ Married with Issues.
That's fair. It would be nice to sleep until Tuesday. That is fair, because I did just have Thursday, Friday, Saturday off. Well, today off. But Wednesday I wasn't feeling good, and I came down with a cold, and then had to go to the doctor and get antibiotics. And so now I'm on like my 3rd day from antibiotics, and I'm feeling a lot better.
Mhm.
but I really came down with a cold, and I just like the cold sweats, and it just wasn't fun.
No,
So,
I've
but
always
thank
hated
goodness
that.
for insurance.
Mhm.
That's good. It helps. Just a weekend. Hey Rod, it's good to see you.
That is really weird. How have we been live for 5, but this has been recording for?
Because the time is, I don't know. You paid? I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know what this recording thing's doing.
I
don't know
need
how it's
this. I just
working.
woke up from my nap.
Yeah, we got a lot to get into. I mean, we got some news. We got
Maybe the
well,
timer's just off, like the clock.
yeah, maybe run. I don't know. Maybe one runs faster, but I don't know.
I got
seem
my
to be a little
Ant-Man
bit the
shirt
same.
today. PIM Technologies.
Yes.
But you can't see the PIM part because of the banner, but it's there. It's here. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So at the end of we probably won't announce it till the end. You know, our March spotlight. Tonight, I mean, today's actually an interesting one because it's Leap Day.
It is Leap Day. It
which
only happens once every 4 years.
Yeah, which I also didn't know is actually Superman's birthday, like in the comics, is Leap Day.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
And it was like established. I was reading about it, and it was established like back in I can't remember what book, but an issue back in like the 60s.
Yeah. Anywho.
So yeah.
One book that I've actually recently just caught up on, and I've read all 3. Such good writing, stunning story. I really love it. I'm so glad you gave it to me to read. But it would be Thor. And so I read issue 1, 2, and that banner is big. But I read issue 1, 2, and 3, and I really like this story. I like where it's going. It's
well, that actually brings me up to one of our first. Kind of like one of our first topics that we wanted to talk about is the Donny Cates Thor run so far. I mean, it's only been, like you said, 3 issues.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. There was a stinger on the end of the first book. There was a stinger on the end of the second book, or at least I think that's right. There was at least 2 stingers on the end of 2 different books. But I really enjoyed this read. I thought it was good, and I liked how Loki was in the beginning of this one with that comment he kept making of the hammers Mjolnir's getting heavier, and yeah. So if you're not reading this, you probably should be, because it is actually really, really good read. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, hey Southern Comic Geek, it looks like Southern Comic Geek in chat says I haven't bought Thor since the Walt Simonson days. But boy, howdy, that Thor 3 was dope. So he has been so he has been reading Thor, but it's the first time since the Walt Simonson days. Wow, yeah, that's crazy because I hadn't read Thor in a long time either, and then I mean, because we got back into collecting a little over 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I started reading Thor again right from the jump. I mean, he's always kind of been at the higher end of my favorite character list. And
I'm glad you gave it to me to read. It's actually kind of funny. He gave me the first 2 to read, and he hadn't read the 3rd one yet. Mm-hmm. But since he was at work and I was at home, I read 1, 2, and 3. And then I'd gone to pick him up from work, and I was like, do you know what day it is? And we had already established it was Thor's Day.
Yeah.
But earlier in the day we had anyways. And so then we get to the end, and it's like, no, when we get home, you got to read issue 3 because I read it before you, and now you have to read it so we can talk about it. It was a good read.
Yeah, and then I hurried and read it later that day, and
I've been doing pretty good, knocking out some reading.
Yeah,
catching up.
Yeah, I'm really loving the Thor series too. Another thing I'm loving too is Nick Klein's art on it too. I think fits it really well.
Yeah, the art is incredible.
Well. And he's not like really high on my like favorite artist list or anything like that, but I became a fan of Nick Klein's work when he was doing the art.
You know, I wonder.
Well, the covers, and I think he did some of the interiors on the Scotty Young Deadpool run.
I wonder what's going on with that Ragnarok one that I'm reading.
I was going to ask you about that because
I have like 3 or 4 issues, but I haven't seen any new ones come out lately, so I don't know.
Okay, who's publishing it? Do you remember?
I want to say Dynamite, but I don't think that's right.
And there's been how many?
It's an indie title. It's
I know it's
publishing
indie.
it.
That's kind of the point I'm getting at. Maybe
There's like at least 3 of them, 3 or 4.
Okay, so
but it's just Ragnarok, and by
Walt Simonson, yeah.
Yeah, by Walt Simonson. I don't know if it's IDW, maybe.
Oh, I know. I can't remember who it is, but
right there where I'm looking. But I don't know if I should grab it. Maybe I will, because you got me curious.
Yeah. So I mean, the point
I get trapped in here sometimes, guys.
The point I was getting at about it is maybe it's just another one of those cases of it being an indie where they get a few issues in the can, release them, and then there's normally like a little delay.
I'm getting really good at that.
Hiatus.
I just first pick in the box. We don't have dividers in our comics yet right now, and so it was like first pick. I already came across it, but yeah, so this is a Ragnarok.
So it is IDW,
and it is up to 3, and it is IDW. But I was really liking the story. I just haven't seen it come out in a while. So
yeah, and Southern Comic Geek, yeah, just said IDW in chat too.
Yeah.
Hey, Super Russ, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, this one I've been enjoying, so I'm like,
I haven't read that one though.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it.
That one I have a feeling I will. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Simonson Thor run.
I'm just gonna leave them on top for now. I can put them back in later.
I mean, it's
hey Russ, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, I cut you off. Again.
I don't really want to like delve too deep into the spoilers or anything in it, but there's ties to the current Thor, to the Simonson days, like a certain character he created and stuff, and yeah, it's really good. And
I like that version of him though. It's different. It's a lot different than this.
Well, in
it's very different.
Since done. Oh, you mean okay? The Ragnarok one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the Ragnarok one. I mean, even it's more like Norse god.
Yeah.
Where this is like Marvel Thor.
Yeah.
Which it's like loosely, based off of,
the Norse god.
The Norse god, but
yeah.
But kind of not at the same time. It's
kind of like how there's like another too. Sandman. There's like the Sandman universe and Morpheus, but then there's also the Sandman Jack Kirby.
Well, and then there's the Justice Society Sandman too. The Wesley, was it Wesley Dodd?
Yeah, see, so it's kind of like that.
I know his last name is Dodd, but
multiple
I think
dimensions, multiple opportunities for multiple characters to have different.
I mean, I have the
wide range things.
The Jeff Johns.
Hey, Stay Puff, thanks for joining us.
I have the Jeff Johns JSA Omni that I really want to read because I kind of want to read more of that. I'm pretty sure his name is Wesley Dodd Sandman.
Did you grab some of your to reads?
Well, I
you just grabbed it.
I grabbed a huge stack of.
Oh yeah, because I have those other ones.
Of I mean, because we have a section where we put the books that we've read that are like to be filed kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just grabbed a huge stack out of.
Because if you saw the tour video that we might actually like redo, but do it as just like a pre-recorded, to where you can actually see everything and not have the screen be shaking so much because I'm like moving too fast. So we were thinking of doing like a pre-recorded tour, but there's a little magazine stand thingy that has like 2 shelves on it that you like, the ones you see when you're getting like at smoke shops when you're walking out, and they have like the newspapers.
It's like the wire racks.
Yeah,
like the wire.
Yeah,
magazine racks.
Yeah, it's one of those that we got from my mom, and so it's like the top part is part of his to reads along with the table and everything else that is there, and like a lot of stuff, and then the bottom part is usually to file, but I still have to finish filing. I came this close to doing it yesterday until I realized we didn't have any more room in the boxes, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we had to go out and buy a couple short boxes.
Yeah.
And I need to get the.
And then I just haven't found the motivation to finish it yet.
Yeah.
It's The Great Legend! Thanks for joining us! Good to see you!
Hey, Legend.
Yeah, and so this is another one that I recently caught up on, and I really enjoyed this story. It is so good. I'll start with the first one that I started to read.
Yes, that's actually I have right here too.
Yeah, because he needed to read 14, and so then I read 15, 16, and 17. And oh my goodness.
This is still one of my favorite series going right now.
Yeah. This was such a good ending. Like, it was just so good. And then this was good. And then, of course, these two were just as good as well. So it's like Daredevil has just been really good lately. I've been really enjoying it. 17 and 18.
And speaking of this, the writer of this book is an answer to this question to another kind of topic. Like, who's an underrated writer that you would like to see get, bumped up to maybe like, like a big main event book, or
yeah. I do remember you bringing this up.
Or get a like a nice long run on a flagship title,
right?
Like a Batman or a ASM, or and one of my favorite writers. I mean, like Jeff Johns is like obviously like
one of
like
my favorites.
Like favorite writers.
Hey, Steve, thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
One of my kind of, I mean, he's well known, but
who is it? Spit it out.
But Chip Zdarsky, like just one of the writers I'm just a really big fan of right now. Chip Zdarsky, Brian Hill.
Yes, that'd be good.
Like I was kind of pulling for Brian Hill to be to take over after Tom King's Batman. I mean, I think Tynion is a good choice too, but I mean, I was really pulling for Brian Hill, even though Brian Hill's writing Batman and the Outsiders right now. But
who's doing Postal? Is that Matt Hawkins, or is that
Brian Hill and Matt Hawkins? It's kind of like a co kind of thing they do.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because I do typically really like Brian Hill's writing.
Yeah, but, like American Carnage, like last year. Oh my god,
that was good.
That was really good.
That was really good.
There was something else that he did too.
So it was like what artist you would want to write?
No, writer.
Writer. Yeah, I realized
that's kind of like
my bad.
That's kind of like, not the Donny Cates or like writing the big books. But you would like to see bumped up to write those.
Oh, okay.
So like. Or, oh hell.
I think we just froze. Or maybe my phone's acting up.
Well, I mean,
we're back.
It did blip. I saw it up here.
Yeah.
Or like, I would love to see him on like a Silver Surfer book, or like the next big event book.
Yeah.
I would like to see Chip Zdarsky do something like that, where.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, so Brian Hill's focusing more on TV movies writing now. That makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard that. I don't know whether he's what TVs or movies he's been working on. I mean, because I know he kind of came from that background.
Yeah.
I did read something about that.
I'm seeing Cullen Bunn on a big title for Marvel or DC.
Yes,
that would be good.
Yeah, Cullen Bunn's a good one too. I kind of would want him writing Deadpool right now.
That'd be cool.
Because he's wrote Deadpool in the past. He's actually had some recent like kind of spin-offs in mini Deadpool stories, and I mean so I mean I'm obviously known as the Deadpool guy, and I did finally read the new Deadpool run, the first 3 issues.
Yes, you did.
And I like Kelly Thompson. I mean, writes a good Deadpool, and writing wise, it is a good Deadpool, but just the art.
The art is hard to get through.
The art is really hard to get through on that.
It kind of was when you showed it to me. I was like, "That's not."
I know, and you even had why is his head like a square or something? You said something. Why is his hair so square? And I'm like,
it's a shame when the art kind of ruins it, because it's like the art goes hand in hand with the writing, and so sometimes the art can make or break a book. But so what else you've been reading? I only have one other thing to show on what I've been reading, and so you have a bigger stack than me. I'll let you go.
Okay, so they have come out with 2 different hardcover, like 2 hardcovers.
This is one that he actually waited all the issues for, and you'll understand. Well, maybe not understand, but he's glad that
trade /hardcover waited this whole thing.
Exactly. Because there was a lot of delays. There's a lot of delays in when it was supposed to come out, and a lot of people were frustrated about those delays.
Yeah,
and
it wrapped up like a year and a half later than.
yeah,
I mean, everyone at this point knows what we're talking about, but I finally read Doomsday Clock, all 12. And the thing is,
I do need to read Doomsday Clock.
The reason why I'm holding single issues here and not the hardcovers, because I still haven't got them yet.
Exactly.
Someone AOK'd us like one of the issues, right? Remember? I can't remember. I can't remember who it was, or because it was in
Doomsday
with like
Clock.
a bunch of other stuff. But we got one of the issues AOK'd, and actually I think we got a couple AOK'd by a couple different people, and I was like, I think the universe is telling me to just get the issues.
And well, some of them had been on our poll when they were coming out. So
yeah, because then that's the thing. Because then eventually I did just start buying the ones I didn't have, and then I put it on our poll to when they would come out. Exactly. But I wasn't reading them. I was just stashing them away, waiting for all 12.
So, which is an effective way to do things sometimes.
Which I'm kind of glad I did, because if I was waiting like people were that was reading this,
that's exactly what I was saying. Is people were like frustrated with all the delays because there's just so much goodness that it's like they wanted to know what happened next. And obviously, I don't know what happens in this yet because I haven't read it yet. I'll get around to it, but yeah,
it was excellent.
Yeah.
Even Great Legend still needs to read Doomsday Clock. I wish they would release a big deluxe hardcover with all 12. Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. That's what I was getting to.
I'm just gonna show the books while he gets to stuff, because sometimes it takes him a while.
So far, what they've done, and I'm sure Legend has seen this too, because he's waiting for that complete deluxe, like I am. I mean, it's cool that they did this. So they came out with the first hardcover,
all like beautiful covers
that had the first 6.
Yes.
But then when they came out with the second 6, the second volume with 7 through 12. It came with a slipcase to where you could fit in the first one if you had that one too. So it's cool that they did that. And the slipcase was free. It was still the same price as the first hardcover was. It wasn't like the price was jacked up either.
This one's one of my favorite covers, and it's just because I'm a big cat person. I love cats. That's a cool cover.
Boobastis.
I'm such a cat person.
That cat is awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to catch up and read all of these.
You don't. I mean,
you were telling me about them, and you're trying to not spoil anything because it's like, well, you're gonna read it because oftentimes if he knows it's not likely that I'm actually gonna get around to reading it, he'll just tell me. Or either way, I don't mind because I always forget about stuff. I'm gonna say I remember when this cover came out too.
Is this the hardcover edition you have? Legend. I mean, because they have so many different editions of this out by now.
They do.
I mean, we used to have the Absolute, which we actually sold to NYC.
To Kavi, yeah, Kavi bought that one.
Since and we I sent it to his new
house. We held on to it for a while and sent it to his new house. I remember when this cover came out.
This,
but
because this is a recent edition. Yeah. I think they put this one out like last year, maybe.
That happens often though, where he'll be like, he'll be telling me something, and he won't know if I'm gonna read it or not, and so he'll ask me first if I want to be spoiled on it.
Yeah.
And the thing with me and spoilers is I have such a forgetful memory. Like it's hard for me to remember anything. That oftentimes I'll forget that he even told me, and then I'll read it myself, and then like even with that Thor. That third, like the first issue is talking about like speed of light and this and that. It's like it was still like not a spoiler because like when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, and it was just kind of cool, you know. But it's like I have such a forgetful memory that he'll spoil something, and I'll give him perfect permission to do so. You know, I don't mind, and then I read it myself. And then I tell him, and he's like, yeah, I already told you. I'm like, oh yeah, that is right.
Mm-hmm. So well, I'm the same way too.
Kind of works out that way, that spoilers don't really spoil me because my memory is so bad that it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
and my brother-in-law really spoils stuff too.
Yeah.
I don't mind
he does it because of his twisted sense of humor, and he thinks he's being funny.
Most of the time. Most of the time.
I mean, he'll also like, you know, not spoil stuff, you know, sometimes. It just depends on whatever mood he's in, but
looks sweet. favorite story ever written in comics. It is a really good story.
I love Watchmen. Honestly, like the movie too. It's one of my favorite like superhero movies too.
Yeah, speaking of movies, there's a movie that they're remaking that I grew up with in like '93 is when it came out. But it was a remake from the '70s, and now they're remaking it again. And I'll probably see it once it's on like TV or Netflix or streaming service or whatever. But it's The Secret Garden is like a childhood movie for me that I loved so much. And then when I was home the last couple of days on my days off, I came across a preview that they're remaking The Secret Garden, and I just kind of freaked out and told my mom, and she's the one that told me that it actually came out in the '70s. It's like, just goes to show that some of these stories live on and just end up being retold for the different generation, and it's still just as impactful. Like, it's awesome.
Well, and like I've told you, with stories like Watchmen and Sandman, I've seen it on like I can't remember what publication, but it was like the top 100 like works of fiction. Yeah. Not just comic books, not just novels, like just like the top 100 like of all time
stories that just are timeless.
Yeah, just like works of literature or fiction or something.
I love
and
those
Watchmen and
ones.
Sandman are pretty much on all those lists. And
have you ever read Jeff Johns and Gary Frank Shazam Origins from the New 52 run? They were originally published in the back of some of the Justice League books. Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, I have that full run in trade, and then I have the we have the
that could be good to read.
It was at the end of that Justice League run, the Dark Side War, or what was it? It's hiding behind the Killing Joke. I can't see it right now, but
because you like to just
I started reading that run
on top of stuff and said no space wasted Jeff. With this guy. Hey Jeff, thanks for joining us.
I actually started reading that Justice League run, but
you had actually
I'm gonna have to start it over because it was a while ago.
You actually said when I showed you the trailer for The Secret Garden, you never saw the one in '93.
I don't think I did.
Like, that just blows me away. Like, it was always
'93.
Yeah, '93 was when the one that I
was too busy reading Spawn at that point.
I was only like 4 at the time, but I remember it being one of my favorite movies. Like the Little Princess, because I'm trying
to remember what year Spawn was. I think it was right there around that.
But anyways, back on track. Another thing that I've read today that I thought was pretty good, I had with my morning coffee. I was actually surprised by this. I really enjoy these books, Jessica Jones' Blind Spot. I've really been liking this storyline that's going on with Jessica Jones. Like,
which
I was glad I picked it up. And I think you would actually like it.
Yeah, I'm probably going to read it. And there's actually an interesting note to this. This is one of the series that, if I remember right, it's one of the ones that came out digitally last year. So this is their first time, like, physically.
Yeah. There's a really beautiful page in this book that is it is gorgeous. I'm going to pull it out. Wait, I see. So I read that one. And then I also just read the one that came out this past week, which was really good. Still very, very good. Spider-Man's in it. Mary Jane is in it. Oh, well, it's not too much of a spoiler, but Mary Jane is in it too. And, like, it's good. After reading it, I kind of wish we would have got the variant because it would have made more sense.
Because there was a pretty cool variant at our LCS.
Yeah, and it was the only one. But at the same time, I still really do love this cover. And either way, it's still the same story, so it works. But I actually really enjoyed this read so much more than I thought I was going to. Like, I didn't really know what to expect. But when I started reading it, it just... I loved it. It was a good read. It even actually had me laughing out loud at some point. But you see, look at how beautiful this is. Just that page right there. Like, I just thought that was gorgeous. So.
Yeah, so I just pulled out a random one of those
Hopefully
Justice
that's not
League
a spoiler
trades.
if you haven't read it. See, I'm terrible. I maybe should have given spoiler alert. I don't know. It's not really a spoiler, but like it could be, maybe to some people. I don't know.
See, and oh god, I love the art on this Justice League run. I mean, yeah, because I think I know.
Squirrel? I didn't even notice you pulled that out. I'm still
Yeah,
right here
Jim
talking
Lee,
about Jessica Jones. My goodness gracious.
Jim Lee started it, and then it went to Ivan Reis.
Oh, goodness gracious. What are we to do with ourselves? I mean, I don't know. It's great.
No, I'm actually glad that Legend brought this up because I have been meaning to
Read it?
get back into this Justice League run. I'm probably just gonna start it over though because like I started it a while ago.
Yeah.
And I think I got maybe like 2 books in or 1.5 books in.
Do you have other news too?
Yeah, I wrote down a bunch of news.
You're such a squirrel.
I know. Real bad.
I love you though. You're like shiny. Look, a unicorn.
I know, that's still there. That needs to be like with the Deadpool stuff or something.
No, she's my little unicorn. My little mystery in the back. She's my partner.
Okay, let's see. So
Or shit's being weird. But yeah.
Yeah, I did kind of mention earlier how it's I mean, I guess like in the in the comics, Superman's birthday or whatever I guess is Leap Day, and
it's weird that it's the 29th of February and it hasn't been the 29th of February for 4 years, and yeah.
Wait, did I not?
Maybe not.
I thought I created the banner.
I don't think you did. I think you forgot. That happens a lot.
Wait a second. Yeah, hang on. Sorry.
Great artwork. Have a great rest of the day, Fusion Solgr. I have to start some chores. Take care. Great show. Some of the best comics is right here. Aw. Thank you so much, Great Legend. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your adult responsibilities.
Yeah, thank you so much for hanging out, buddy. Hope you
I gotta take care of some stuff too afterwards. I gotta clean up the place, but instead I took a nap, and so now I gotta.
Yeah, I literally had to wake you up to get in here, and yeah,
I was not intending on falling asleep, but for whatever reason I had just gotten kind of cold, so I put the blanket around me, and then I had just finished reading this one, and then next thing I knew, you were telling me we had this show, and I'm like, wait, what? I didn't even realize I passed out. It was, yeah.
Okay, so as we said, there's
quite often.
C2E2 is going on right now.
Yes, C2E2, which it's so awesome to see Kenny, Comic Head 84,
I know,
D-Runk, and all of them there. Like, that's just so awesome. And Bear Island. And
I definitely love con season, and when we see the community come together like that, and we see them.
We really gotta.
But it's kind of bittersweet for us because I want to be there.
We just need to be geek responsibly and finance smart, and then we'd be able to go to one of them.
Live off ramen for 10 years and then we finally go to one?
No, not necessarily live off ramen, but kidding. Just be smart financially.
I know.
Like with the savings and everything.
Because we do have, I mean, there is awesome cons like close to the state we're in, Yeah. I mean, Emerald is soon.
I would love to go to Emerald City.
Emerald's a big one.
That would be one I'd really love to go to.
I mean, to knock off my bucket list and
maybe someday
Grail and all that. If McFarlane still lives in Arizona, like I think he does, I would think he would be in the Arizona cons, So
I would think that because we are working on our financing a little better to try and squirrel money away for savings and being able to do more travel wise and con wise, because there's a con on my birthday in April that I'm super excited for, but it's that one that we went to last year is just the Wasatch Con.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super excited for it because even though it's in a mall and it's just really small and it's only the third year they've been doing it, what I really love about the Wasatch Con is that there is not a shortage of boxes to look through for books. Whereas at the con, it's mostly what would you say at the FanX?
Like how many people go?
Well, no, comic book boxes and like box hunting and like.
I mean, out of all the booths, there was only like 4 or 5 comics, and
exactly.
2 of those was local shops.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so that's what I like about the Wasatch Con is there's no shortage of long boxes, short boxes to dig through, whereas
because our bigger one focuses more on TV and movie celebrities and
yeah, that's what it was. I couldn't remember is how you put it, but yeah.
I mean that's kind of almost. I don't want to say how it is everywhere. There are a lot of cases of that though, where smaller cons, a lot of like true fan, like comic book diehards and stuff, they like the smaller ones better because it is more around the books and.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But then there is a few of those big ones still that are still good. Like I mean, San Diego's gotten like too big for his britches. It's like
well,
because like when I went to it was a good 20 years ago at this point. 18 or 19.
18, yeah.
Something about that, yeah.
That's what I like about the Wasatch Con though is that it has more books to dig through and it's funner. Oh, I found something for $1. I think it's out there. I was gonna catch up on the chat. You
can grab it as I mentioned the news that I've had up on the screen for the last 5 minutes.
I'm gonna try and catch up on chat real quick. 7 cons. Oh, 7 cons between now and end of June. That's gonna be a busy week. That's gonna be a lot of
end of June.
Spend on a single issue. It depends on what issue it is. I found a book for $1 though. And I'm really excited to show it, so I'm gonna go grab it. I'll be right back. I think I know where it's at.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what one you even got. So wait, where was it again? Oh, what's the most? Okay, so the most I would spend or the most I have spent? I don't know, because I mean, it comes down to. I mean, if it's gonna like break the bank or whatever, then I wouldn't or whatever. But I mean, if it wouldn't destroy us, I mean, I would definitely get a FF5 or, I mean, because that's since we already have the New Mutants 98. I mean, the FF5 is another huge grail, and FF what is it, 48? I think.
I did find it, but then
it could be in there. Okay. But yeah, anyways, in C2E2, Marvel announced their X-Men crossover this summer. 10 of Swords is what it'll be. So we'll see the first I guess line-wide. I don't know if it's line-wide or just crossing over all the X books. Yeah. So the first one with the Hickman's X-Men. We'll see in July.
I found them. So this one I got. Yeah. I mean, it's not really an expensive book or anything like that. I got a little too excited there. I'm out of breath. But when I came across it, I thought it was really cool. And it's like one of how many was total?
Oh hell! What was in that run?
It was up to
was it the 30?
Yeah,
30 or 31?
Yeah, 32. Yeah. See, so I found Strange Tales, featuring Cloak and Dagger, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so it's like the second volume of Strange Tales.
Yeah, and I really like Cloak and Dagger and Doctor Strange, and so I thought this was the coolest find for $1. I got it for $1. And then when we went to the LCS today, I came across this one. So now I'm collecting Strange Tales featuring Cloak and Dagger, Doctor Strange, and there's about 30 issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there actually is
for this one. When I found it, I was like, wait, what? I'm getting that, and I did.
And we also saw how there's actually one trade that collects the full run too, all 31.
Yeah.
I mean, at that size, if it is 30, 31, 32, that's like kind of like a minibus at that point.
A little bit, yeah. But I think it would be a cool story to read, and it's only like 30 issues.
No,
So
yeah, it
when I
definitely
came
does. Like, I
across
love
this,
Doctor Strange.
it was in the dollar bin, and I'm like, I like that. I ended up getting it, and then I found this one as well. So it's like featuring.
Well, and I told you that mycomicshop.com is going to get us in trouble because they had every single issue for
Right.
$2 a piece.
Well, see, yeah, exactly, because it's
All
not
in
like
like
a
very fine and near mint.
yeah, it's not like a high rated book or anything, but it's
No.
still like two of my favorite, well, three of my favorite, Strange, Cloak and Dagger, like, so, yeah, that happened. I now have 2 issues out of 30, and I'm going to hunt the rest of them down. That if we don't find them at our other LCS, then we'll just order from my comic shop when we don't get ourselves in trouble with it. when we can afford to order books.
Yeah.
When we have some
I know
spare,
that.
spare
Yeah, that
money
my comic
squirreled
shop.
away.
I mean, I love how they have it laid out. They make it easier, like what
Wasn't
series
there
is
another
what.
one that you looked up when we looked these up? Was it
Oh,
X
like
Factor,
another. Yeah,
or-
I was looking up other series we're collecting, like X Factor and.
It might have been that Green Lantern, Flash, Brave and the Bold.
It could have been that. Yeah.
I think that's what it was, because I did also find a Green Lantern, Flash, Brave and the Bold that's out there, and that one was for, I think, like $2, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And I'm back from here. Anyways.
Yeah. So one of so we had this other segment we kind of been getting into, like pressing issues, where
Yes.
it's kind of like a debate, like a I don't know, it's not always gonna be like the biggest topic that's going around, or whatever, but
we work out the topics from panel all the time.
well, yeah, that's like a catchphrase that I didn't even do at the opening. I've kind of been working on that.
Don't do you? I love you so much.
I
That's
knew
great.
I wasn't gonna do it.
It works.
Threw me off my game.
It's what I'm good at. It's what I do.
My non-existent game.
It's a great game.
So yeah. I mean, like a big thing now, is like it's a lot of stuff that's going around is like the state of the industry and stuff, and
yeah, because that's what we were talking about it the other day in the car. We were going somewhere, but it was like, oh, I was picking you up from work and we were on the way home, and I don't think so, because like it had occurred to me that a lot of people say how variants and how they do so many variants, it's kind of going to make them go bankrupt because they're paying all these artists for all these variants. But at the same time, if they have the extra money and they're paying them, I would think that means they're doing good business-wise because they have this extra money to cash out all these variants. That
they're still doing it so much too, so it's got to be working to some extent too.
Exactly. It's working to some extent, because it's like I would probably get worried about the industry if they stopped doing variants, like like
all together, or like they just.
Because I see it as, I don't necessarily see it as them just spending so much on all these variants. I see it as them having more money to blow because they made a profit over one margin book that did better than they thought it was going to. So that's just kind of like, my theory is that I don't necessarily see that it's tanking with them doing variants. I see that I feel like they have the extra money to do so, like that they're being strategic and smart about the variants. Although they really need to stop making variants for issue 50 of Batman. I don't know how they're still making issues.
Yeah, I swear there's some that pop
like
up like now.
That's just like just be nice to us. Like, okay, there's already like 50 variants for issue 50. Stop there.
I mean that's the thing. I mean
that one is out of hand, but others,
they do asinine amounts, and every new Marvel #1, which is that's the thing too. Like I get tired of how the constant new #1s and all this, and then every time there is a new #1, it's a thicker book, you know, that's a couple more bucks or whatever, but then it has 75 variants. And
which is so hard because the Catwoman 80th anniversary
I think
books,
oh my god, I know we're gonna be suckers on that.
The art germ one is so beautiful. If you've seen my Facebook,
the artists have started posting the covers for that, and because in the solicitations they didn't have it. And
hey, Genome Presents, thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
Genome Presents.
Evening to my favorite comic,
Bonnie and Clyde.
Love Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, we love Bonnie and Clyde.
That one show on the History Channel where it was like the History Channel made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
with
like
Emil Hirsch played Clyde, and I can't remember who played Bonnie.
They did really good on that one.
That was really good.
That was really well done. But
no, it has to work to some extent, because when you look at the like top sales charts from every month you'll at least always see a book you would definitely not think would be in the top 10 or 5.
See,
a book sold. That one's the art germ one, right?
Yeah, that one's the art germ. I even have a folder in here. And then here's the Adam Hughes.
I love Adam Hughes.
Focus.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like sometimes because of our faces it tries.
There it goes. It focused. There's the Adam Hughes. And then I forget the artist on that one. That one's a gorgeous one too. And this one.
Yeah, there's every month you'll see books in there that you wouldn't expect in the top 5 or 10, like first in the sales charts for the month, and you'll see it in there, and it's and you'll think, why wasn't it? It's like, oh yeah, they had 50 variants, and
yeah,
like where the variants are driving it. Like,
see, that's
for instance, that Gwen Stacy book.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who that's really geared towards. I mean, it's a character from the Spider-Man side of the universe, but I mean, she doesn't have any like superpowers. I mean, that version of her,
See,
I don't really know.
I would agree that some of the variants are definitely getting out of hand, but I don't necessarily think.
I think Marvel's getting out of hand with it. I think DC handles it a little bit better, because they don't do the 75 variants on a new number one. Like, I like how they have like the A covers, the B covers, and then they'll have like retailer exclusives to like Scorpion Comics or like when you see those, but
which is nice, and maybe not nice, but it's they get out of hand with some of them to where it's like, okay, enough, just you're doing too many variants. So I get that aspect of it. Some variants I do like, others it's like, okay, why? Like some of the indies ones I love when those have variants, but those Catwoman variants, it's gonna be so hard for me not to want to get all of them, because it's just like
everyone is fire.
There's the 1940s is Adam Hughes, the 1950s is Travis Charles that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, that one we have
The
seen.
1960s is J. Scott Campbell.
That is
the 70s is Frank Cho. 80s is Art Germ, and then 90s is Gabriel Dell'Otto. And then the 2000s is Jim Lee and Scott Williams, and then the 2010 is Ji Hyung Lee.
Which that cover is incredible too.
See, so I have a folder of photos in my phone where it's just the Catwoman variants, and it's gonna be hard because I'm gonna have to make some choices and just be smart, because it's the 80th anniversary, so they're already selling it for more than you would get a regular book cover price for, but they're doing so many, like 8 of them, I think it was, so it's still kind of like, I want them all, but I can't have them all. I can't have my cake and eat it too. It's not fair. Maybe someday. What?
Yeah, I was just seeing in chat. Werewolf by Lunchtime says, ask Genome if you read. I think Jeff Gwynne, Bonnie and Clyde book.
Oh,
that sounds just on that alone. I'm intrigued to read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Genome says that hell, the new runs will likely get canceled after five to six issues anyway in preparation for the next relaunch.
That's
See, and
true.
that's what drives me nuts.
That's what's
one of
driving
my
me
biggest
nuts.
pressing
Yeah.
issue. Like,
that's what's driving me insane is how they do a new character, like a new character, new number one, and then it doesn't even get past like 6 or 12,
I
and
know.
then they redo it again. It's like, no, just stick with it.
And I mean, at least DC has a few books up in the 80s and 90s. You know, Flash and
Yeah.
Batman's getting up in there. I mean, so they're not, you know,
Arrow got up in there.
well, Arrow ended at 50.
But it had gotten up
But
to
it's
50.
up there, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it at least gotten up to 50.
I mean, I think the highest Marvel book right now is ASM, and
I
I
would
think it's in
believe
the 40s, which I'm
Yeah.
surprised at that, frankly.
Yeah, because I do like these longer runs, you know, these stories that like some of the Batman stories that just don't get like that we were watching on the Comic Core or the other show we were watching the other night where it was that Batman is what was the word?
Was it the thing that I heard on the podcast, how they were talking about how Batman's he's such a high saturated character, like you see him everywhere, but people just don't get.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that do, but for the most part, people don't really get sick of him for how much he's out there. I mean, he's got like 10 series going in DC right now. I mean, there's a movie of his coming out every 3, 4, 5 years.
Good to see you. Hey, Kirk.
And I was actually kind of planning on this for like next week's episode or some like a future episode of kind of debating this a little bit more.
Well, we would look into it a little bit because there is some characters that I don't think I'd ever get sick of, like Arrow and
Batman's one of them,
and like Spider-Man. Those characters I don't think I could ever get sick of. It just, no matter how many times they get new created. See, and it's like even with some of the runs back on Catwoman, like the transition before the New 52 and after the New 52, they didn't change the numbering. They just changed the creative artist, which is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's nothing wrong with that. Just because you're changing the writers who are currently on a title doesn't mean you need to restart the entire title at a number one.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of where Marvel
what Marvel's doing a lot too is they're limited, mini and limited too.
Or
like everything is 4, 5, 6 issue minis, you know. And
I like the longer ones that, like, yeah, of course, I'm a real sucker for my minis, where it's like mini series of 6.
I mean, 12, it makes it easier to like collect and read and find them and stuff.
And I really like those story arcs that are only like the 6 to 12 issues, but other stuff that I read, I like it to go beyond that and actually.
Yeah, I do too. Like the old.
I have some time to have like a real story arc or a reoccurring thing that you know.
I like runs that go for a while, you know. And then like you might have a villain, you know, like the villain of the time, but then they disappear and maybe they come back like 8 months later or something, you know, down the line of the same run. And
yeah, exactly.
I definitely miss those days, and
that's what I miss.
And I'm not just crapping all over Marvel. I mean,
if the stories actually held up, I could see getting invested more, but like Jerome said, to many number one issues and seemingly constant reboots. Yeah, I'm getting sick of those constant reboots.
It makes it hard to get into it sometimes too when they're constantly just 6 issues, like 6 issue minis too.
That's true.
And then the next time you might see a book of that character or something, it's like a different take on them. So
it's like what they did with the Domino books and turned Domino into just Hot Shots.
Yeah, and that Domino run was good. I was liking that.
I was really liking that Domino run, and then next thing you know, it was just
they turned it into an actual team book, Hot Shots.
Yeah, and then this stopped Domino. It was like, why couldn't you just keep going with Domino?
Yeah, because I was really liking that.
I was really liking that a lot. Which you're reading? Oh, Guardians. Yes, we read the Donny Cates Guardians, but we haven't picked up the new Guardians.
Yeah, we haven't been reading the Al Ewing, but we did read the whole Donny Cates one.
Were we gonna trade weight on that one? If it was,
I don't know. I was kind of. I mean, I love Al Ewing as a writer.
Yeah,
but
we're also trying to geek responsibly and not spend so much at the comic book store, but it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
All other bills are paid, so it works. It's a matter.
But no, like I was starting to say though, I'm not just like crapping on Marvel though. I've always been 50-50. I'm not one side or the other. I've always loved Marvel and DC pretty evenly. But according to our collection, I think we have a lot more Marvel than DC, right?
According to our collection, there's 3 short boxes worth of Marvel compared to DC.
But what's weird, 2 of my top 3 favorite characters are DC though.
Exactly, yeah. It's like how I never realized I was such a DC fan until I realized that Green Arrow, Selena Kyle, Batman, like my top favorites are DC. I'm like, oh, I thought I really loved Marvel, and I'm like,
yeah, and
I really do love them both. It's just like, why not both?
I mean, to be fair though, my top list can change from day to day too.
And I saw a post on Instagram, is something that you told me about, where it's the DC movers in the book. Like, that would just be crazy if they did a crossover somehow.
Well, what's crazy is they've both sides have been teasing, like, not necessarily. Well, actually, some of them, yeah, they have been teasing a crossover, but then some others they're just kind of referencing the others, like, not to really like get too spoilery or anything, but in that Thor series, it kind of hinted out a DC universe, and then recently in I think it was Doomsday Clock, where it kind of hinted at some Marvel stuff, and it's just acknowledging. I mean, but it's been like this for a long time, where they do acknowledge each other's universes, and that they are like kind of like right next to each other.
Right.
But yeah. I would love to see like some amalgam stuff again, full blown crossovers. That would be
so awesome. Like if they did a crossover.
Like who would you love? Like Silver Surfer versus Superman or something like.
Right. Hulk versus Batman.
Nightwing versus Daredevil is actually a big one. I think would be a really cool one to see.
Totally agree. I need to cut back, but since I'm reading more DC and indie titles, it's been even worse. Yeah. I mostly read indie besides what he gives me to read, and then like my recent reads, I haven't been reading too much indie, but yeah, it's hard to cut back on new books so that you get older books, but at the same time it's like, it just gets into the geeking responsibly, and they should have taught financing in high school.
Well, especially when there's so many aspects to our nerd thing too. It's not just books; it's statues, action figures, video games.
Which is what I really liked with JP's budget collecting and Matt, how they were talking with, I think it was Big Lion or Big Will I think you're talking about the episode with Big Will when they were talking about like budgeting and financing and making like strategic money moves and selling these books. There's a way to go about it. It just has to be done right, so you don't.
That was an awesome episode.
That was a really good episode.
Whose channel that was on though?
I think it was JP's budget collecting.
I think it was on JP's.
Yeah. I think it was on JP's. I love watching JP's show. It's so good.
Because I think whoever's hosting the stream is always like up in the top left, I think. I don't know if you can kind of like move it around. I don't know, but
that's a good question.
But yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out. I'm pretty sure it was on JP's.
I won't say a word.
That's what made me say like how there's statues and figures and all that too.
There's one that I really want. The Catwoman one, Art Germ animated series. I'm like, why? I just want it, but I can't have it yet because I say yet, like someday I will get it.
You never know.
I just gotta tell myself that little white lie that maybe someday has to come eventually.
We're desperately still trying to save up for new laptops and mics and trying to get our setup and our.
We'll get there. One issue at a time. No, one panel at a time.
Yeah, on our audio recording thing, the maximum recording time for segments is 60 minutes. Keep an eye on the clock.
Oh.
I think I can end it and then do like another segment or something, I think.
I don't know. You're an overachiever.
I don't know. Of course,
I did not get finger guns. I had thought about it.
I saw it, yeah.
But because we were already at our budget, I didn't get it. Because there was quite a few books I did get. I got Monstrous, Ant-Man, Books of Magic, Hellblazer. I have a stack like this thick of my Sandman Universe books that I need to read, and I'm gonna get to. I know I will.
Yeah, I have the X books and you have the Sandman Universe.
Yeah, that's my weakness, is the Sandman Universe, Lucifer, Books of Magic, House of Whispers, The Dreaming. I love all of those. That, yeah, I'm catching up on all of those.
All right.
Right, financing new YouTube gear auction, right? See,
for real,
That
exactly. I mean, that's what we're gonna need to do. Yeah, real quick, while we're still talking about this state of the industry thing, this is one I'd meant to create a banner for, but I guess I didn't. But Jim Lee he had a panel at C2E2.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did tell me about that.
So Jim Lee promises a strong DC Comics publishing future. He said, quote, "The actual strategy of DC is to put publishing at the center of everything we do. The comics are the engine that drives all of DC's entertainment output." He also said, "Our intent is not to do a line-wide reboot with this 5G, stuff that's been teased. Our focus is to continue what we've done best, pairing characters with great creators, and continue to make diverse and amazing stories that you guys love. We're telling stories about characters that can fly and going into other dimensions. It should be a lot of fun." And then as for, the whole, the Dan Didio situation and all that stuff, I guess they're not going to replace Dan Didio. So now Jim Lee, for the time being, I guess, looks like he's going to be the sole publisher at DC.
Okay.
He said, quote, "So I just look at being sole publisher now as being in the trenches now more than ever before. My vision for the line is that one size doesn't fit all. To address some of the stuff that is out there, there's rumors, speculation. I wouldn't put any credence into it. DC has been around for 85 years and will be around for another 85 years. I hope to be doing this panel in 85 years."
Right. Yeah, I have all of the Hellblazers, but I need to read them all. I have the John Constantine one too. But yeah, because I really love this Sandman book. So I'm glad that he put a spotlight on it, but I still wonder, why was he fired?
Oh, Didio? I don't think they've actually put out... Okay, so it was last weekend, and when it happened, at first the news was just Dan Didio's no longer with DC. It wasn't he was fired or he quit. No one knew. But now the way they've been wording it all is he was fired. But so far I haven't seen any actual reason or anything.
The algorithm. Oh yeah, agreed. Rest. The algorithm would be freaking awesome.
For what?
Still kind of scared for DC. I don't know. There was a comment up there that when we were talking about DC and Marvel, if they did a crossover, if
the amalgam, stuff.
Yeah. It would be awesome if they did, because they could make good money out of that. It's like, instead of being competitors, why don't you just join forces and make even more money?
All right, yeah, so on our audio recording thing here, it's going to wrap up here in 20 seconds or whatever. So hang on, let me just end this segment on here.
Okay.
And I think I just want to see, because this is our first time doing it with this, I want to see if I can add...
I don't know, but I get kind of being scared for DC with this. What was it you were saying? That if something isn't successful, they're gonna shut them down.
Yeah.
I don't see them really shutting them down.
Okay, so yeah, here we are. We're still talking about
baffled.
About kind of the state of the industry and stuff. And
I'd be baffled if they
bottom
shut down
line
DC.
I mean, obviously it could happen. I mean, you don't want to say
it's not something that'll never happen.
Yeah, it's a little naive to say that.
Nightmares are dreams too.
Look at how many places are closing down. Not like comic stores, just like brick and mortar retail stores.
Yeah.
Because of places like Amazon and stuff.
There's no more Blockbuster or
Toys R Us and
Albertsons.
What do they call them? The big box stores is what they call them. Brick and mortar big box stores. But for me, I honestly don't know what to believe. Because you hear
Scone Cutter. There's no more Scone Cutter.
Yeah, you hear from one side, that like it's tanking. Meanwhile, the movies are, the most successful movies ever made, but and I know that doesn't generally translate to people who normally don't step foot in a comic book store. But I don't know. It seems like a lot at our LCS. Like I constantly hear people there, like they're like, I've never really been in one before, like you could tell that they're in there. They drove in there by movies or a TV show or something.
Yeah.
Like I kind of see that a lot at our LCS.
We've been seeing more and more new faces at our LCS than we had before.
But then I also hear, that size, the doom and gloom side that, everything's falling apart. But then at the same time, I'll hear from like some like retailers and shop owners and stuff, that say the complete opposite.
It would be an interesting conversation to have with the owner of our LCS, is to just kind of get their opinion on it. Is it really tanking? Is it there? Because there's always going to be pros and cons no matter what.
And obviously one shop to the next shop is going to be different too. Like one shop can be
doing better than the other, and it's still interesting. So it's like I don't know, but I
don't like I said, I don't know what to believe. But
eating all companies, Disney is becoming. I agree. Disney's becoming Galactus.
They are.
I agree 100%. That is so true.
They really are.
It'd be awesome to see statues based on the Marvel DC crossover characters. That would be cool.
Yeah, like some of the amalgam like stuff.
Yeah.
See. And I listened to a really good podcast.
Thor vs. Superman on the big screen. That'd be a fun one to see.
Those would be some movies to see.
Yeah, Thor and Superman would be great.
Speaking of which, I didn't include this in our news section because I didn't actually like read the article or anything. I just saw the thumbnail. Henry Cavill.
Oh yeah.
I guess his name is kind of being thrown around for MCU Wolverine.
MCU Wolverine.
And that first thing, and I'm actually like, I wouldn't have thought of that.
I hear he's kind of rude in real life.
He kind of puts his foot in his mouth from some of the stuff I've read.
Like that was the one that I've started to not like so much. Brie Larson. After I've seen some of the stuff that she says, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
So I get it now. I'm just a little late to the party.
I totally forgot where the hell
I'm really good at being late.
Totally forgot where the hell I was going with that.
Henry Cavill as Wolverine.
Well, yeah. That was just kind of like a little just side note, but right before that, where I was going with it. Shit. Oh my god.
Is the issue before the issue?
I have too many issues. I don't know what issue you're talking about.
Oh my goodness gracious! I don't know how
I know I was talking about. Oh, okay, yeah. So one of the podcasts I listen to regularly, Comic Conspiracy. It's it's ran by the guy that owns. Their shop is called Comic Conspiracy too, in Sunnyvale, California.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome podcast, and once a month too, they always do the sales charts and all that. He made an awesome point on one of them. He was saying, like DC to run DC for a year, is like X, millions of dollars or whatever, to run DC for a year, but it's like $1 billion company, like they compared to what it takes for them to publish comics and operate and everything, what they make back is way more than that, is like what he was saying. And obviously and
we're still going out and buying these books, so we're still supporting these companies.
I'm not saying, I don't think the industry's like doing gangbusters amazing like the movies would lead you to believe. But I also kind of just don't think it's quite as bad as some people make it out to be.
I think there's people out there that always want to use the scare tactic to hurry, buy them now, or you won't have them down the line, or they're going to end, or, there's always going to be that scare tactic in a certain aspect of different...
Of marketing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like the consumer world itself. This is only available for a limited time, get it now. And it's like like some of the McRib at McDonald's, it only comes around every leap year, it seems, because it's like
I know they
random
don't do
whenever
it like
they
once a
decide
year,
to do
huh?
it, and it's like, well, you know, there's just still always that scare tactic that, oh, it's not going to be here forever, it's going downhill. And it's
Yeah,
not
that's what I was gonna
necessarily
say.
true.
Comics on the Mind. Yeah, it's Sunny, Bay Area. Isn't
Mhm.
that like I don't know, not quite like an hour outside of SF? I mean, I know it's like kind of by there, but
Green
not.
Darts.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been a while since I've been
that
to
was a pretty
SF.
massive one. Speaking
I
of,
want to
it
go
was,
back. I want to take you there. Like I love SF. Going to
I've never been there. I would
Upper
love to
Playground.
go there. I want to retire there
I love
because
Upper Playground.
I hear there's somewhere down there where it stays about 74 degrees year round in California.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
California in general.
Yeah.
Like I thought you meant like San Francisco specifically.
No, not San Francisco.
I mean, San Francisco for the most part. I mean, it can get under that for sure, but
I would love to live and retire somewhere where it's just like 74 degrees year round. That would be perfect. I would love it. It wouldn't be too hot. It wouldn't be too cold.
Yeah, closer to San Jose. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It was funny. I saw a Quest for Legends post the other day where he's like, "You ever seen a bag of farts?" And it was a bag of Brussels sprouts. It was great. It cracked me up.
I know.
I'm
He's
like,
hilarious.
oh my goodness gracious. It was
I know.
great.
I've been following him for a long because he's had a few different names on Instagram and I've been following him for a long time.
He's a good guy to follow. So if you're not following Quest for Legends, you should be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Comics on the Mind. Yeah, he says SF has weird weather. That's why when I was because it's weird, and it's because of that bay. You know, like it's especially like Fisherman's Wharf and in there.
Like I feel like at work, it's like because I'm spoiled here. I'm able to smoke my cigarettes in the living room, you know, because we have like all of our comics in this room and we always close the door.
Yeah, we don't.
But even when I have to smoke outside, I swear at work it is just so much colder because there's a lake. I swear, like it feels
it's
like
the lake effect. Yeah,
it gets so cold, and there's nowhere I can go to get away from that lake, so I'm not so cold. That it's like oftentimes it gets to a point where I'm like, it's too cold to even go smoke, or I'll put out my cigarette.
Well, especially where your work is,
because because at my work, if you've seen on my Facebook, I posted one beautiful shot of a sunset when I was working until about 6 or 7. But that giant lake that's out there, it's beautiful. But my God, does it get cold? And it's frozen like once or twice.
You don't mean like the Great Salt Lake?
Yeah, I mean
where
like
we get the lake effect from that. You mean the lake that smaller lake that's right there by?
Yeah, that's like right at my at the smoking area of my work, and it's like I swear that lake just makes the breeze that much colder to where I'm like, okay, I'm done. 3 puffs in, it's too cold.
Yeah, Comics on the Mind. Yeah, that's how it is over here in the Bay. See, when we get that I hate when we get that lake effect from the Great Salt Lake.
Yeah,
where it's like that egg, that rotten egg smell. Oh.
That's the worst. But yeah,
and I don't know if it's because it's like
the lake makes it colder, and I hate it because it's like in the summer it is so beautiful.
Yeah.
But I wish they had like a little pocket of like a booth, like a stops, like a bus stop bus, like
Amazon had.
Like Teleperformance had.
Well, yeah, and they had one. Yeah.
I liked how Teleperformance had that one because it was just, you know, you didn't get any wind. Yeah, there's still the 2 open parts, but you know, everybody would just kind of cram in there, and it wouldn't be too bad. You know, because it just wasn't like, you know, you had that blockage, but like, and the lake has frozen a few times. So I've sent you pictures of the ducks just walking across the lake, and it's really cool. Didn't you say
there was a coworker that like her phone somehow like ended up in the middle of the frozen lake?
I was on lunch one day, and on a Saturday, and this chick comes running in from the fucking outside, and she's like, I need a broom. I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know, what the hell do you need a broom for? And so then I finish eating. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go smoke. So I put my extra drinks back in the work fridge, and I go out, and the lake had completely frozen, but her phone, when she was pulling it out of her pocket, slipped out of her hand and was like this far from the edge on the lake, on
Isn't
the
it
frozen
like a
lake.
drop down too?
Yeah, it's a drop down like that to the water.
Yeah.
And it's like, I never get too close to the edge of that because I don't
No.
trust my clumsiness.
No, I wouldn't
But,
let you near
yeah.
it.
And it's like all these people are trying to help her get her phone, and these other people broke these branches off of the tree to try and get it and couldn't quite get it, and the broom wasn't long enough, and it ended up pushing it even further out. And then somebody was eventually just like, get security before you hurt yourself. Like,
Did you just walk out there and get it, or?
No, I had to go back because my lunch
so
was
you
over.
didn't even see if they got it, or well, they probably eventually did.
I'm sure they eventually got it, but I ended up just going back in because my lunch was over, and I'm like, but by the time I was going back in from the end of my lunch, they're like, just get security, like you're gonna hurt yourself. And I was like, well, duh, you should have gotten security the first time because they probably have, like it probably was the
something
first
they
time.
could have used.
Yeah. But yeah, it just, I was surprised. I'm like, I never get close to the edge, like even where the bench is on the other side where I used to sit in training. Like I would still stick really close to the bench.
I was daydreaming. I was like stuck in it, like.
That was great. You were just like, I'm daydreaming.
I couldn't snap out of it. No, where was it? Yeah, I like Werewolf. I think it was Werewolf by Lunchtime that said it. Where was it? It was.
Can get crazy hot in Perth sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Werewolf by Lunchtime. I just want to have a 2-week holiday in America. That would be awesome.
That would be.
Because I mean, it just made me think with my birthday being next week.
Next Thursday.
Yeah. So yeah. Thursday and Friday off. So yeah,
we're gonna wrap
4-day
up.
weekend. Yeah. Hour 16 minutes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Andy, what's going on, buddy? Andy from England.
Andy, thanks for joining us. We're just about to wrap up, and he's got some news.
I do.
Announcement.
Oh yeah, the main thing of the of this episode is announcing our March selection for
who's actually been in the chat.
Yes, they have been in the chat. But you didn't message him yet, like
I did.
About the specific day.
No.
Okay, yeah. So we won't mention that yet until we iron out
matter of time.
Full details, but.
We just kind of go off the cuff, it's what we do.
Well, I know even if we do have like show notes or something written down, it just gets thrown out the window. That's not.
It really does. I don't know how we're still alive.
I don't know why I even do prepare for stuff because
I seriously just wing it every time. I'm like, I'll just grab a little stack of books and then I'm good. And because I know we always end up on these tangents, and then we also like our conversations also kind of go around what's going on in chat too, and then it just like
I know there's like 5 different five different topics being talked about at the same time.
And there's so many times where I'm doing something and you're doing something, and we're both still we're having 2 different conversations with each other at the same time.
I don't know how
I don't know how it's possible, but yeah. So without further ado, the super great community spotlight that we're going to be doing in March.
Yeah, for our March community spotlight will be on. Not you. I was gonna have you say it, but
I was waiting for you to say it. You silly head. It's gonna be Super Us.
Super Us 9000.
So we're super excited. Super Us is gonna join us sometime in March. Any weekend would work as far as I'm aware so far. But yeah, so March we'll have Super Us. We're a little bit scattered. And I want to say congratulations to you as well. You've been doing the video every day in February,
yes,
which I think is awesome. And is it coincidence or not that the one time you decided to do it is the one time the shortest month of the year has 29 days
instead of 28? Yeah,
like
it's a leap year when he does it.
right. But no, I've been watching some of your videos that you've been putting out, and it's been great content. I've been loving those videos.
Yeah, and there's actually a a video that we're going to be uploading to Instagram too.
Yeah.
Like a little announcement video that we'll
So
probably start
if you're
doing.
not following Super Us, you totally should be, because he's an awesome character.
Yes, yeah, and he's still in chat. You can just
Yes.
click his name and go to channel, and you can sub from there.
Yes, sub as well.
Yeah,
Totally.
Super Us says, says thanks, LOL. It's been a challenge. Yeah,
Some of the best ones are.
It is. Well, to put out content like that every damn day, like daily.
Well, I know, because it's like there's still some weekends where I'm like, oh, we're doing the show again. I don't even.
And you don't even do anything like prep work. You just show up and do it. Like
I like to just go off the cuff because it's.
You're like, I don't have to. I'm the star. I just show up.
I didn't say I was the star. You fired me once. I was fired from my own show once.
Yeah, like 3 years ago. And that's when the show was like called the Solgr Fusha Only Show, and I was like, the Solgr Fusha Only Show's hiring. Right?
He's like the overachiever, and I'm the minimalist. I do the bare minimum sometimes.
Isn't that also just AKA laziness?
Not necessarily.
No, I'm just kidding.
Not necessarily, but it's a lot of work to put everything together. So sometimes I just get tired where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go off the cuff.
Trust me, it is. I mean, like I said, it's
a lot of hard work because
we mostly do just the show. Well, I mean, there's like the blog and the store and all that other crap too.
I wouldn't be able to do all that you do. I'd be wiped out, exhausted.
But even the stuff just with this. I mean, this is only once a week, and like the week goes by fast.
And we had our disappearance where we disappeared for a while, and we weren't meaning on leaving for like 2 months and then coming back.
No,
so it's like
we literally just meant to take that one weekend off.
Well, see, and it's like the same thing happens to me on Instagram sometimes. Is like just get into like these moods where it's just like too much energy to keep up with all the posts. But I still love being able to do them, so it's just kind of that aspect where it's like, even with our Married with Issues shows, I know there's some days where I'm like, oh yeah, we were gonna do that, okay, huh.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time, by the time I actually redo it and at the end of the show, I'm like, I was a lot of fun, I enjoyed it, even though before, I was just kind of exhausted by the thought of it. But
yeah, I mean, because
it's a lot of work to put out content and to always have that energy, but it's definitely worth it, and it's a challenge that makes it all worth it.
Yeah, even Super Us said some of them were decided 5 minutes before he even recorded.
Sometimes those are some of the best,
and it's crazy too, especially when you cover something like something specific.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some shows or podcasts or whatever, it's kind of like just news on every kind of news, so you always kind of have something. But when it's like, if you're doing it like just comics or just video games or something where it's just a little bit more niche, the industry can be like just not shit going on.
It should be something.
So you're like racking your brain of something to come up with.
It should be something that is fun to do, and if you're not having fun doing it, it kills you. It's just so much harder to do. So
the great people at Downright Nerdy Podcast said that recently. It's like, we don't get paid for this. We do this for fun.
Exactly.
And once it doesn't stop becoming fun, or once it becomes not fun anymore.
Once it stops being fun. Yeah. See, and that's what I love about like even the Instagram community is it's like, even if I'm not replying to all of the tags, but I'm still liking pages, and there's no like criticize them for it. It's just, I love it.
Well, if you two are gonna argue for the next 20 minutes, can I have a cigarette? Right.
Yeah. I got a lot of energy for someone who just woke up from a nap like 5 minutes before the show. I think it had something to do with this orange can.
That's one thing another thing I love about this community though too is like, so many people like putting out awesome content, like watching their stuff and all that. It makes me want to do more, and
exactly,
do more content yourself too. And like I said, I've been like wanting to get other stuff going other than just this, and than just this show or whatever. But
it's just a lot of work. And with that,
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up. So stay tuned to. I'm sure we'll probably post on Instagram once we get it nailed down. What
Saturday it'll be, but it'll be a Saturday in March that we will have Super Russ on with us.
It would be cool if we can get. When was it? The 14th of the weekend, because that will. So 2 weeks from now, that would be our 50th.
Yeah.
Issue.
Yeah. We'll work on that.
Yeah, this one's 48. So yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out, putting up with our scatteredness.
You guys are the real MVPs, because I don't know how I don't even know how I put up with myself some days.
I know that's one thing they say is when you're a content creator and stuff, create a show that you would watch yourself,
Random.
I don't think I would watch that.
Sometimes we have our moments.
I don't know, because sometimes we do go back and watch our stuff so that we can re-chat again and see anything we missed.
Because I get cringe. I
used to do it every episode, every issue, but
sometimes every once in a great while I don't mind it. Other times I just get too cringe. I'm like, no. It's like when they make me listen to my own phone call at work. I'm like, that's what I sound like. Don't make me do that.
That's my thing, is I hate how I sound.
Yeah. But anywho, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. We love you guys.
Have a great rest of your weekend. Live long and prosper.
May all your issues come true.
I got antlers.